Um, right. Alright. HP, well, I won't be needing that. Okay. I think I forgot those little booster things existed. Must admit, I can't believe how janky these guys look. Especially after playing like the proper remake. Give me your stuff. Although admittedly I have recently played through this on like my original PlayStation, the PS1 version, and it certainly looks a lot smoother. Right, let's... That doesn't seem to have changed a thing. Okay, battle speed, fast, active. Actually, let's set everything to fast. Okay with everything else. Let's just go default for now. Alright then, Barrett. Oh, that was some timing. Yeah. And get rid of you. Oh, personal space, Mr. Wallace. God damn. Is there something in? Yes, there is. See, I must admit, this is quite an interesting experience, really. Like when I was playing through on the original one, it's just quite cool to see, in comparison to the remake, what they changed and what they expanded on. Like, just obviously making it a lot clearer that Cloud is trying to become a mercenary and not just here on a one-off sort of job. I must admit, it's just one of the things on this, because in this early bit, there really isn't a great deal to say. Did enjoy how much they expanded on the getting down to the reactor and planting the bomb, and also putting a much bigger hint into like the history that Cloud had with the reactor, because of the limits of the way they do the text. When he gets that message in his head, as he approaches the reactor, you don't really know what's going on. Side with the power of hindsight. Whoa, she's just sliding down. What a ledge. Yeah, with like the benefit of hindsight, you know that it's probably a memory from when he was in Niflheim. But in this one, you just have no context as to who's saying it and why. I shouldn't screw this up, but just in case I do. No, I don't want to do that. That's a dangerous thing to put next to the save button. I really don't want to use the no encounter thing, but I can see myself doing that at one point because that's annoying. Take advantage of Barrett's range. Oh, not dead yet. Well, you're on the front line now, bitch. Actually, speaking of which, let's slap you on the back row, because there's no point in having you at the front. Ooh, that's very round. Must admit, it's so much more polished in comparison to the other one, which I guess is the point, but still, when you've just played the original version and then you play this one. Yeah, like here. This is the bit I meant. It's like you have no idea what's going on there. To me, especially when I was younger, I assumed someone had said that to him. I didn't realise that was in his head. I suppose this thing's probably weak to thunder, isn't it? 40 damage a slash. Yeah, I'm just gonna bolt it. Wow, that's like illegibly fast. Think I'll be turning the battle messages back down. That was nuts. That's it, put it down. Although I must admit, I did enjoy the remake boss fight against this thing where it just wouldn't give up. Might have been a bit intense for a first boss, in my opinion. It was very much a in at the deep end kind of feeling, but yeah. Must admit. I remember when I was young, oh god, seeing that 10-minute counter and thinking to myself, oh god, is that enough time? Let's just save again, because again I'm quite prone to just doing something stupid. Especially if by some miracle I end up with an audience, I'm definitely going to start doing something stupid, so... Oh. You're not shooting me in the back. Although technically Cloud's on the back row now, isn't he? Yeah. Right, we'll change targets then. Average out to 50. This one thing I need to check actually. I'm wondering if they actually fixed the magic defense bug in this one. So I must admit that inadvertently made some aspects of the game a lot harder than it needed to be. Don't really want to use a cross slash on that. Well, it's braver at the moment, isn't it? See, I have to admit, coming to the end of let's go back to talking about the remake one. That's one thing that I think I didn't really like, is I feel like at the end of the remake, all my characters were just so powerful, and now knowing that none of their progress is carrying over onto disc 2, so to say, feels a little bit meh. I mean, I suppose in theory they kind of had to, because you know there's going to be few people that are playing part 2 and haven't played part 1 for whatever reason, and so they can't be starting the game on like level 1 at that point when everyone else is starting on level 40, 50. But given they're releasing the remake in 3 parts, I think they said, I am a little bit intrigued as to how far they're going to take part 2. Because I suppose in theory on this, disc 3 was essentially just the end boss, to be honest. It's almost as if they just ran out of space to fit it on 2 discs. But it will be interesting to see where part 2 leads off. I also have one very major concern with it, but I'll get to that when we get to the relevant bit in here. Yeah, let's hit on the girl in the middle of the explosion, why not? Oh, well that was eventful, thank you very much. See, that whole interaction was a lot more interesting on the remake. So that's another thing they kind of expanded on. Is obviously you get the feeling that Avalanche is like this Oh, there's no point more of them just come. Let's just get this moving along. Yeah, you get the feeling that Avalanche is obviously this big terrorist sort of group that you're working for, but they kind of explain their reasons and you realise that actually Shinra is probably the greater evil and yada yada. But it's quite good how they expand how there's a whole actual religion based around the whole life cycle of the planet, and how all of the Shinra executives and stuff are just pouting that this whole thing is nonsense, so they can get away with doing what they're doing without people getting too upset. And again, that's just another kind of layer of detail that they've gone over in the remake that I think was actually quite a good touch. I mean, there might be some bits as I'm getting through this where I'm going to remember something in the remake I didn't like so much. But, no, I'm going on the bubbles a bit quick. Not actually reading them. I do enjoy how they filter all the Barrett's profanity though. That makes me laugh. Like there, what did he actually say? I'm assuming it might begin with a B. Just because the one that begins with a W doesn't really translate much outside of the UK, so... Can't get over how dodgy bloody, is that Wedge? I think it is Wedge, looks just in that corner, furiously shaking back and forward as if he's on a mission in that corner. No, it's meant to be he's wibbling around on the train, but it does look like he is just stood there doing something he shouldn't be doing in public. Like, I think again, this was something that Remake had the advantage on, with actually being able to do a proper conversation rather than just reading text. I think it did certainly paint Barrett as a bit more of a, I almost want to say one of like crazy preacher types, where he obviously strongly believes in all of this planet soul recycling stuff. And he believes it with like a proper passion that you don't really see when you're reading it off of a wall. See, I would have said that the F word makes more sense there, but it doesn't fit. So God knows what he's actually saying. Like here, I was never sure if he was being super sarcastic or like sincere when he's talking to Cloud about this. Like, why don't people just move? Well, I don't, maybe because they can't afford it, dumbass. But again, I think, unless I'm remembering it wrongly, I might have to replay the remake closer to Rebirth's release, just to catch myself up. But I can't remember if maybe it was a bit more of a sincere conversation and not so much of a piss take. Need to talk to Jessie when we get to the hideout, actually. Curious to see how much of that conversation she gives you in the newer one about the bomb being too strong and how she feels like she messed it up. Yeah, be interesting to see how that actually translates to how she feels in this version. Especially after Barrett's comment of saying that that bomb wasn't strong enough. I don't think I fought with him. Now, do I go? Or do I just answer it organically? Do I push for a certain date, or do I just go with what I would... Let's just go with what I'd go with. I've already worked through this once to get the date with Barrett, and it requires an awful lot of really specific choices. Although oddly enough, when I did my PS1 playthrough, I'm pretty sure I did end up with Barrett by mistake. So, you know. Or did I end up with Yuffie? Can't remember. Is Yuffie even an option? Now, I will find out by who turns up when we get to the Gold Saucer. See in here, this is like another one of those things where, with hindsight of playing through this game before, you know that she's asking that for a reason. But with the well, if you were just playing this through for the first time, you just assumed she was asking because of the job, and all the context behind her asking is just lost. Yeah. So there, she's panicking that she made the bomb wrong, whereas he's pushing for a bigger one, so... Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Barrett? Everyone in Soldier's meant to be, like, superhuman. But again, that's one thing I do find a little odd, is that for quite a while, with the fact that Soldier's meant to have been mobilised to deal with Avalanche, the fact that you don't really see them for such a long time. See, this is another thing that they build on a bit nicer, at least in the earlier stages. Is that you do get to know a lot more about their history because of all how she sort of walks you around Midgar and the long conversation that they have. I mean, to be honest, there's a bit of me that felt that plot-wise they were really kind of trying to push a bit of a romance angle between these two a lot more than they did in this one. And given a lot of like fan speculation at the end of this one as well, it seems like that would be something that people would be quite open to. I mean, to be honest, with the way how they make this whole thing in this version seem so one-sided of her towards him, and him being a little bit oblivious. But to be honest, as we find out throughout this one, there's a lot going on inside his head at the minute, so... Which again, remake-wise, they certainly seem to make it more obvious that something is going on right from the get-go. With how much a certain someone keeps popping up. I mean, hell, people are probably never going to watch this, and this whole conversation's to myself, but if someone is watching it, I don't really want to say too much, because as much as this is a really old game, I don't actually know if it's going to spoil it for anybody. I don't want to sit there and start saying stuff, and they're playing through like the remake version and Rebirth and whatnot, and they're thinking, oh man, that was ruined. To be honest, he seems pretty oblivious now, so maybe it has nothing to do with the other stuff that happened. So this is another one, because they had the extra time, I guess. I like the way they elaborate on the fact that Cloud was never meant to go on job number 2. It's only because of other incidents, shall we say, that he actually ends up keep going. But I have to admit, I always thought the whole idea of doing 2 jobs back to back was a little bit bold. You'd think they'd wait for stuff to settle down. You know what, I don't want to watch the materia tutorial. I wonder if they choose the term store deliberately, because saying that they're in a bar possibly may have edited the age rating. I've never noticed they say that before. But it's obviously advertised and talked about as being a bar, but it's the way she suddenly calls it a store. Why does that kid look like he's using a gun? Let's just equip everyone up. Right, and once I clear these boxes, I think I'm going to leave it there because I don't want these videos getting too long. Alright, so if I knock this one on the head here, and then whenever I get a chance to resume, we will pick up from this bit.